Greetings and welcome, Speed Gaming fans, to Speed Gaming 5 for another Timespinner Randomizer SGL 2023 tournament race. We have Ehseezed versus gokublack9974. I'm Wef Jubster, and you are going to be just delighted by my co-commentator today, Talon. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
So we have a loser's bracket run a race here. The loser of this goes home, or I would hope is already home. And like, I don't know, they'll just drink some water or something. But the loser is out of the tournament. The winner stays alive, but both of these runners do have one loss. We're just doing some last second cropping stuff, and I think we should be ready to lower the gate. One of our runners are unready to make sure that the crop is good. Okay, we are dropping the gate, and our runners should be started very shortly. So, what are you looking for out of this race here?
Yeah, with a lot of these races, especially for newer runners, it's very much, what can I learn here? But I'd like to see something, a good plus orb to start with, maybe even if it's not a plus spell, and then just let the execution take over.
Yeah, I mean it's always fun to see the vast differences between races. We have Teleria right away, so they're zooming around. We have early plus orbs sometimes, so they have their damage. I know the last race we had here on Speed Gaming 5 at 2:00, they started with Eye Orb Plus, which is one of like maybe a top 3 weapon in the game. So it's going to be really exciting to see what awaits our runners here as they get started.
Yeah, personally, I'm a big fan of the Eye Orb, so whenever I can see it plus, I'm always a happy boy.
All right, well, they're not getting Eye Orb. They're getting Blade Orb minus. So, yeah, this dummy, I believe, has 22 HP, so they're going to have to hit it 22 times. And Colossal Blade minus, which is the spell that goes right along with it. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of an issue. Some of these enemies are probably going to be skipped rather than killed in the early game. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Our runners are going to head into the refugee camp that starts off this run, and we'll see what they get. There's a batch of 4 items right off the bat here. We'll see if they get anything better.
Yeah, I would be praying above anything else for a better orb, even a normal orb, because this is my worst fear personified. Double minus to start. Woof.
Well, Nell gives us a warp shard, which is kind of handy in the early game because you don't really have access to buy them.
Yeah, I definitely would take one of those. It opens up the routing a little bit too. You can make a choice of I want to go this way because I have that ability to just blink back.
Yeah, well, we did see a bleak ring. We'll see if either runner equips that. It will help damage long term. You do have to build up a combo in order for that to count, but given they have Blade minus, it's not really going to be much help to them. And there's Kobo. Honestly, Zed equipping the familiar, probably the best damage they have here.
Yeah, when running this as practice, a lot of times the familiars, I'm just, all right, whatever. I'm not going to worry about the pause just to equip that. But in this scenario, yeah, that's definitely going to be a benefit.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't even 3-shot the rats. That's you're dodging enemies. You're not gaining any experience, so it like starts to compound upon itself. Well, they do have the Celestial Sash, which is our infinite vertical. So the movement is there. Zed checking, seeing that the Lake Serene is droughted, so that is an option for our runners. All right. Well, we'll see Zed continuing on. Goku Black is just a couple steps behind at this point. Breaking open a couple of these chests. Infernal Flames minus. So far, we know Blade, Blue, and Fire are all minus.
Yeah, it's an interesting start though. Like you were saying with the lake, having that double jump and some fire, it might pull you away from the castle and back the other direction to open up the vines and.
It's honestly not a bad call. They have full access to everything on the Lake Serene, and as long as the Maw Caves themselves aren't flooded, I didn't get a look at it when Zed was glancing at the map earlier, but it could be the play. I would say it's kind of dangerous to go into the Maw Caves when you don't have any damage. Those mushrooms would take forever to kill, and every time you hit them, they spew out poisonous spores. Goku Black actually getting a couple extra checks in here before venturing into the castle. The castle's kind of another spot where, like, if you don't really have the means to do a lot of dodging, you're gonna want to have a swift way to kill some of these. But you see these mushrooms taking 6 damage from a colossal blade. This is going to take a very long time to kill these mushrooms. We'll see what's here and if it pays off, but this is going to be rough. There's going to be another mushroom just past this one. Yeah.
Yeah, don't really have the resources or the health just to be able to try to damage boost past these. You're going to have to take it down. Nice succubus hairpin.
Wow.
Underneath the bridge.
Yeah, the double jump and the infinite vertical. We're just missing Teleria attachment. Yeah, all right, so one mushroom down.
But to what you were saying about the castle and the enemies within there, there's a lot more room, it seems, to have some movability, especially with double jump and the sash, to dodge the enemies better in the castle than you can maybe elsewhere.
Yeah, and there's a pendulum that Zed just got at Bombardiers. Would have been really important. It would help with a D boost down here in the upper caves, because pendulum does prevent poison. Because, yeah, deboosting through this mushroom is going to be the way forward here, and not killing it.
Keycard A is sitting there and opening up potential doors later in the game that may or may not want to be gone through.
Yeah. This is just, yeah, I mean, Goku Black's got to kill this mushroom, like, now. He's out of healing. He has no way to get his aura back. He has 2 warp shards. I don't know where he picked up the second warp shard. Maybe the slimes are dropping them, but he doesn't want to take a death here. The last thing you want to do is take a death here. Putting in all this work and then losing it because you took a death. We do see, yep, okay, Zed had to heal over there too. Jumped into, oh my gosh, there's all the key items. All right, now Goku Black's got to get past one more.
All these jumping lizards are really not going to help his cause any.
Nope. I mean, you're at 1 HP. Might as well equip the Bleak Ring. You take a hit, you die either way. This is going to be real bad. Yeah, he's retreating. I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is
the problem is, where do you go? You haven't saved yet, so you can't exit the game. You just go back to the start.
Oh, is this an Eternal Coat?
Wow.
Empress Robe. Okay. So Zed has some armor. Yeah, you see a lot. Oh.
Yeah, there it is, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. So Goku Black's going to be all the way back at the camp here.
Yeah, sadly, this start, not really missing anything except the sash right now.
Right.
But definitely gave up quite a bit of time as we see Zed pushing into the castle towers.
Yeah, like Goku Black at this point. Oh, as we have a flooded basement loop.
Yes, of course.
The unfortunate thing here is Goku Black really has nothing but that information that he is going to get those things that he already sort of passed up. He knows that the sash was to the right. He didn't gain any information from down in those caves, unfortunately. So it's going to be a rough comeback. It's not impossible, but it is going to be a rough comeback. Aura Blast minus. We already knew from the Bleak Ring that blue was minus, but Aura Blast is one of the better spells in my opinion, so it's a bit of a bummer to see that. Silence Ring, however, is plus, which that means Shattered Orb and Bombardment are going to be plus. So finally, something resembling good news for our runners here in terms of their damage.
Yeah, the shotgun effect of that bombardment spell can really spell out some serious heavy damage, and having it plus is only going to add to that.
Yeah, and Zed actually equipping the Silence Ring, it does give you a little bit of deboost power. Unfortunately, the body damage of these Royal Guards is pretty hefty nonetheless. Even with the Silence Ring, you're still taking damage there. Alright, so Zed's got to be careful in this hallway. There's a couple archers and a mage. You do not want to short this jump, and you also don't want to get tagged from behind by the arrows or the fireballs.
Oh, I clinched pretty hard on that one. I thought
that was very close.
Zed gonna skip the Golden Idol boss. I do not blame them. There is no reason I would go up there for that fight right now.
No, absolutely no damage. Just you can always come back, right? When you have more damage, the boss fight is going to go faster. Skip it and come back.
Yeah, there's a fast travel point just above these stairs over here, so it's definitely worth it just to come back.
Yep, and with the Celestial Sash, there's really no reason to not do the tower. I don't know how much money... Well, they have a Shiny Rock, so they'll be able to sell the Shiny Rock for Warp Shard money. So that's good news for them.
Yeah, I didn't see the exact amount, but Zed I thought was sitting on at least almost 1,000, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's eight Warp Shards, which is good. But if there is something like an Empire Crown here, you're going to want to buy that. Blade Orb does not hit the floor, so having to do a couple...
Oh, there's my favorite piece of item. I would equip that so quick.
Star of Lachiem plus means Empire Orb is plus.
Yep. So that's good news for the future if we find some orbs. If we ever find them, because you know they're coming eventually.
Yeah, and there's our confirmed Fire Orb minus. That is Zed's second instance of fire, which is important because there are some vines that, if you burn them down, they don't exist in the present. We're going to see what else is in the towers probably here.
Yeah, the D card that they've already grabbed and that elevator key card opens up Runnegraff's tower pretty well.
Yeah, the armor situation's still not great on Goku Black's side, taking a lot of damage from these giantesses. I mean, this is kind of the risk you run when you play inverted, is sometimes you just don't get gear. See, there's some lab glasses they're probably going to want to buy here. They have 1738. They've got plenty of money here. If they had seen some like ethers or something, they may have taken a second to buy some of those. But as it stands, lab glasses is a pretty good get. Significant upgrade over Buckle Hat. Not much in the way of defense, but it is nice to have that extra offense. Zed, I think, remembered that he hadn't used a warp yet. So the thing is with the warp shards is you can't use them unless you've warped at least once. In the vanilla game, you are forced into that. So there's no way to not have done it. Or I guess Zed might be skipping towers entirely and going over to Lake Serene, like you had mentioned. It does pull you away from the towers. Dodging a potentially really rude boss fight with a bunch of minus orbs up in Ilana, like it's... You don't want to go up there twice, so if you're going to fade it, you might as well really hard fade it.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably dodging... You got your warp shards, you can get back there relatively quickly now. The more density that's there, the easier it is for you to be called back. But then, I mean, the benefit of the warp also is just kind of like you were mentioning, just an added benefit of, oh yeah, now I can actually use those shards.
Yeah, but you gotta redo. That basically makes it so you have to walk that courtyard area length 3 times instead of just 1 time. And without Teleria, that can feel a little bit slow. But yeah, I mean, it's better than going all the way up to Alana's Tower, finding out that it's like Ravenlord, and you're like, I'm not gonna win this fight, and you have to bail, right? So it's actually, it could be a really good call, waiting until you get some manner of damage. A nether orb. A normal nether orb is probably incredibly welcome right now for our runners.
Yeah, I'd be pretty happy with another orb right now.
Goku Black, I think, is trying to experience farm here. He's trying to get his damage via experience rather than his orbs. He's been killing enemies here and there, trying to get some experience. It does look like he's going to dip into this this boss fight. Zed, I don't know if he just like forgot that he picked up that nether orb, but the Infernal Flames got there eventually. All right, what do we got? Varney at Twins. This is not a great spot. I mean, there's really not a lot of great spots for Varney, but this is one of those places that has like a sneaky large amount of HP. So this is going to take quite a few hits. We'll see how long this takes. You also have to consider... Oh, it's not Droughted Lake Serene. Oh, it was lit up because of that one chest up there. Yeah, so it is Flooded Lake Serene, which means they have the top side to do here. No water mask, so they can't do the bottom end. Goku takes a death over there at Varney. Not a super easy boss fight there. Potentially not required. We'll see if we get a revenge match. Nope. He's going to go ahead and skip it for now, just like Zed did.
Yeah, like you were talking about, Varney being a relatively, not early-ish boss in the vanilla game, but earlier in some of these other ones, it's deceptively bad how strong he can get in some of these other areas, with some wide area covering effects or attacks. So, gave it a shot, didn't work. Moving on.
Yeah, he kind of crowds you too. That's kind of he reduces your mobility, and like it's not an easy fight when he has a lot of HP. The later you see of Varney, the less you like him. A lot of key cards early here.
Yeah, a lot of good key cards for accessibility and that elevator key card. I'd be asking for a tablet, and then I'd be asking for access. It's got to be somewhere.
Right. Kind of running out of spots. I mean, Alana's Tower has checks in it, has a significant amount of checks in it. So it could be that everything they're looking for, at least one thing they're looking for, is in the towers. I would be surprised if both of our runners decided to, especially seeing Goku Black dip into the Twins at least. I'd be surprised to see Goku Black not do the tower here. We get Cantorin at Azure Queen. This, if you are really precise, you can actually get the Nether Portals, which do some extra damage here. Zed hovering over the Bleak Ring, considering it. He's going for it. Bleak Ring, it does more damage the higher your combo is, but on the flip side, it also causes you to take more damage. So it is important to kind of balance that out. Nether Orb is a pretty good orb to have if you're going to use Bleak Ring, though. Yeah, and now as he's built up that combo, he's wisely staying way clear. Very, very clear. And there's those Nether portals. You can see them. They're little gray spirals. That was a really, really well done fight by Zed there. Getting those Nether portals, doing massive damage to Cantorin as he's just standing there. All right. So, Goku Black heading over to the left side of the tower. We'll see if we get a climb there. It looks like since Zed did Lake Serene, all that he could do in Lake Serene and has no access to anything else, he'll be following up. So we do know that the goods are here. I guess he got the B. Zed got the B card in that one little nook there on the left side of top side of Lake Serene. So if Water Mask is in Alana's Tower, that's something that could be missed for a while if Goku Black doesn't loop around after finishing bottom of Lake Serene.
Well, it's something else too. They got that Nether Orb out of that route too, which is going to make any boss fight they find up here much easier than using that Blade Orb.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Goku Black's going to seriously want some sort of orb here. And
Yeah,
Zed
the
having
ice
already...
minus not going to help.
Yeah, no, not going to help at all. Zed already having visited the shop is actually a little bit ahead in the towers, not doing that. So yeah, passing up Goku Black here. Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit rough. Goku Black taking that death super early in the caves is just not working out. But I see what Goku Black's doing here, trying to check as many things as possible before fighting this boss, trying to get some sort of damage.
Yeah, check out that right side tower. I don't think Zed did that yet.
No, Zed's doing, I would say, the more conventional route of climbing the left side and only having to go horizontally that one time over to the right tower. He's got to watch out. Boots is going to hit really, really hard here. Their defense isn't great right now. Yeah, almost taking a death there. He does have a few healing items, but he's got to heal again because he's still one hit away from death here, having to eat through that berry pick-me-up. The rocks falling on just barely either side of Zed there.
Yeah, that was almost pixel perfect, but not
Yeah.
gonna hit. Takes it down.
All right, we'll see what's behind. This is a portal, and it's Time Worn. And wait,
That was two of them.
he had Time Worn and Mysterious.
Yeah, and grabbing the tablet out of the attic, I would be beelining it for that library right now.
Yeah, Zed's got to go to right tower for sure. Oh, it was modern and Time Worn. So, yeah, looks like they're in the sewers, which is nice. That will give them quick library access. Yep. Okay. So alchemy tools and some other nonsense. Nothing really special there. And then bottom of the right side tower is just a librarian hat. So nothing really good for Goku Black in terms of doing damage. He's got the Empress robe. He's got the lab glasses, and he's got some minus orbs. This is a really rough start for damage. Very, very rough start for damage. Yep, Zed opting to go right to the library. He's got the D card. He's got the tablet. This is a good play here. You could theoretically say, well, I burned the vines. I could go left. But at this moment, unless you're planning on doing like a weird dip to Azarian Caves early, then... oh, there's that Bombardment. Yeah, immediate equip of Bombardment Plus. Pound for pound, best damage in the game. All other things equal. There are benefits to other spells, but Bombardment Plus is the shotgun of the game, and the shotgun is always good. Goku Black, gonna have to be careful here. Not using Bleak Ring, so not as in danger. Oh, got landed on, though. All right, continuing through the library, we've got some downloads. Goku Black is retreating out of Ilana. Not necessarily a required boss fight. Well, actually it is, because the modern warp beacon is behind her. So never mind. This is real painful.
Yeah, Goku doesn't know it yet, but they will be heading back here very soon.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else they can do here.
Yeah, Zed cruising through the multitude of checks sitting in the library. We'll see if they want to do the tower or go to Lake Desolation, but we'll see. There's plenty to do in every direction, so you really can't choose wrong. You're going to most likely do most of it anyway. Nice Colossal Hammer.
Very nice Colossal Hammer. The one thing, well, I guess two things. You are abandoning the Varney check and then another C card locked check. There's a Spindle, which is important. in the tower. You're abandoning 2 checks there. Plus, there is the Spider Hell, which is not great with their level of DPS right now. Nether Orb isn't a very good choice for Spider Hell because it can't hit upwards.
Right.
So Zed going off to the left. We'll see Zarian here at Boots.
This is where I want my Zarian to be all the time.
Yeah, a couple bombardments.
This is where I want my Zarian to be all the time. Zarian or Ravenlord. Either one of those two in that spot's pretty great.
Yeah, Zed unequipping that Bleak Ring, saying, you know what? Let's be real here. My damage is bombardment. Bleak Ring is an afterthought. My damage is bombardment. When that fails, we'll go from there. Okay, we are doing at least this far into the top side of Lake Desolation with the burned vines. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and continue across the top. This is a potential double dip situation. After they beat the Maw, if they beat the Maw, there will be 2 more treasure chests here. But it'll also be filled with gas. And if they never find the gas mask, then those are technically out of logic. So potential double dip. Honestly, lately in the tournament, we haven't seen required Maw very often. Okay, continuing onward across the top of Lake Desolation. Heading down, gonna probably grab the Zarian portal and the skeleton. Maybe not. Well, you can just barely sneak under there. Yeah, Goku finally snagging that nether orb. It's just going to be like a little too late, I think. There's just so much backtracking that he has to do. There's going to have to be something really, really strange happening in this seed, which, you know, we're looking at 4 of the pieces of the time spinner still missing. Plus, we still don't have logical access to the lab. So, we have no way to get to the pyramid right now either.
Well, you might know this answer, and I clearly don't. So there's that little bit of water that's underneath in those caverns where they just were. But if you jump and duck under, you can get, you know, through those checks even though the water's there. But is that in logic without the mask?
That is those are in logic. If you can like do a jump and then swim under, that is considered in logic.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that because I know it's possible.
All right, well, there's a blue orb minus. Nothing really doing here. Where is that water mask? There's a gear. All right, well, it was worth coming over here. We're going to see where Zed goes. Going to probably get the rest of Lake Desolation here.
You know, I've heard rumors in this game there's actually plus orbs. Maybe one day.
You know... Sometimes. I mean, oh, there's the water mask.
That's a fun place for that water mask.
That's a great place for that water mask. We know Shattered is plus. We'll get there eventually.
Answered my own logic question just by putting the water mask there.
There it is. All right, a princess dress at the Vanilla Time Spinner location. So that's something. Yes, good point, Lily. We also do know through the Star of Lachium that Empire is also plus. So they exist. They're out there. Yeah, all right. So Zed finishing up Lake Desolation with a Meteor Sparrow Trap. There should be one more check for him here. No, actually, there's no more checks because he already got the one on the ledge. So that'll be it for Zed and Lake Desolation. And yeah, time to go off towards Varney's Tower. Not... I mean, the pathing in this seed, kind of linear, honestly.
Yeah, it's feeling that way. I agree. Leaving that potential checks over here with that C key could be a problem. And I feel like, with that early A key that was given to us, and now the water mask if it's flooded and jump, Zaren's Cave kind of feels like it could be the place to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to stomach it, and Bombardment Plus is a good way, but not a great way to kill those mushrooms. Because technically, while you're only casting one spell, it will one-shot them, but it will do multiple ticks of damage. So you'll still get the little miniature mushrooms and the poison spores. But you do have a way to kill them, and Zed does have a pendulum.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a fun idea. I'm just saying it just kind of feels like maybe that's the go with the items that we were given early.
Yeah, and the reward there is everything there's got a lot of experience points if you kill them. So you're kind of setting yourself up for success later. But it's also not a very safe check. You have to walk a really long way to get to the first check in Zarian Caves.
Sure. Sellen's Bangle just hanging out.
Sellen's Bangle.
See Goku going through their Kantoran fight. Didn't get the proc of the Nether Orb the way Zed did, so it's going a little bit longer, but seems to have it under control.
Still just barely out of reach on the Nether portals that time. That was really close.
Yeah, you really got to edge up close to the Kantoran to hit that thing.
Yeah, you have to be really, really close. So we did see, there's the light wall. Not really necessary. We also see that it is minus. But Sellen's Bangle doubles your experience points as Goku Black takes down that Azure Queen Kantoran fight. Gonna burn these vines. We'll see what... I mean, the next move has to be Alana's Tower now. I think everything else has been checked for Goku Black at this point.
Well, there are the Siren Caves.
Oh yeah, the ones that because he went to check those and then had to bounce. That does look like where he's going. So, maybe this is the play here. Well, we do know again that modern access is in Alana's Tower. But Zed, depending on what he gets, may start thinking about, I don't know. I would not like put down somebody who was like, I'm just not going to check those, especially because the Goku Black doesn't have the water mask yet, where Zed does. So I can't really full clear them. Zed doing the present. Oh my gosh, everything he's doing is paying off. Zed nabbing the time spinner wheel underwater here. That does allow you, as you see there, to stop time. This is a heck of a play here. Coming through here and getting that wheel early is a very nice play. This is something that a lot of runners will just put off until maybe even last.
Yeah, Zed choosing not to go through this area, through the tower area, and before doing Lake Desolation. Really paying off, getting that water mask, being able just to do this on the way and clear as they go.
Yep. Water does make you very, very slow, though. That is the one concession you're going to have to make, is that if your opponent gets the Teleria attachment, they're going to be able to do these water checks so much faster than you did. But, it pays off. They get the wheel. They have 3 pieces of the Time Spinner, which means they are 3 items away from Go Mode, the 2 remaining gears, and some access to the pyramid, whether that be through Gas Mask and defeating the Maw, or the mysterious Warp Beacon, which will give them a free portal into the pyramid. All right, we'll see what is in the past version of these caves. 1 check down, nothing really on the surface. Oh, Zed does have the mysterious Warp Beacon. Okay, so he's 2 pieces of the time spinner away from go mode, all of a sudden this is starting to look a little jetty, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Goku Black out of the Siren Caves does pull the Aura Serpent spell, which is significantly better than what they're currently working with, I would guess.
That is way better for sure. Okay, Goku Black going... I think he meant to go up to the Royal Towers. I don't know where he's going now. I don't think he... Oh, he's going to do the twins. That's where he's going. Because both our runners ended up skipping it, so he's going to take out the twins. We already know that the modern warp beacon is in Ilana's room, so that is... The longer Goku puts that off, the worse it's going to be. It's very unfortunate here.
I feel like it may have been faster to go to the warp beacon that's above this and then come back down, but maybe
Yeah,
not.
it is a bit faster for sure. You
Okay.
just kind of drop down from there.
Yeah, if there's something behind this fight, I don't see Zed coming back here for quite a while.
Right. I mean, it would have to be to the point where... Yeah, it would have to be a gear, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or I guess if the gas mask... It could be the gas mask. What I'm thinking of is stuff that would make Zed never check this fight, you know? If it's a gear, then I guess if he finds the gas mask somewhere else, that could send him on a very wild goose chase. Just kind of trying to run the numbers and figure out what exactly Goku's best bet for kind of a comeback here would be.
I think this needs to be a gear.
Yeah, it would have to be a gear.
Really
and,
to make it an interesting set of circumstances.
Yeah, it would need to be a gear, and Zed would have to get like gas mask and beat the Maw and go all the way through the lab, through Daddy's tower. I mean, I think that would have to be it. Perhaps it could be the... it would have to be a gear. So we'll see. Once Goku Black finishes off this fight, doesn't switch to the Aura Serpent Plus spell that he received. Yeah, but takes care of it. Oh, Zed going through that spider hell for nothing. And it's just Frozen Spires minus. Okay, well, I am kind of running out of... I'm kind of running out of places or things that could go right for Goku here.
I guess something like Merchant Crow being there leading to a Gaia or something could have been an interesting what if too.
Yeah. Yeah, because they already have Kobo. Yeah, I just don't see any goose chases Zed could be led on that would really... Yeah, because there's Pink, so that's the last kind of what-if backtrack sort of thing.
The last kind of gotcha.
Maybe the Zarian fight. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a way that Zed doesn't just catch whatever it is in stride. Kind of makes something that would make Zed 100% this seed, essentially. Okay, we got Azure Queen. Zed just choosing to employ the shotgun. And down goes the birdie. Canter in gives you the economizer ring. Tell you what, if your weapon of choice is the shotgun, the economizer ring is definitely your best option by far.
Yeah, I'd be pretty happy to see the economizer ring if you've got a nice shotgun on board.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, Zed taking that water mask. Gonna swim down here, take it to the Maw Caves. He's gonna be opening up potential logic ramifications here. If Zed decides to beat them all without finding the gas mask, we are kind of still looking for a gas mask location that would put them all in logic, but Zed is also still just looking for 2 pieces of the time spinner, and those could just as easily be both in the Maw Caves.
Yeah, seeing Zed go through these areas, you're kind of running out of places. Does the pyramid start poking into the back of your mind? Like, I mean, they're terrible checks, and the enemies hit really hard, but could be there.
If I get a gear and hit a dead end, the next play for me is pyramid. I don't know if you saw what. I don't know if they've even checked what warp they got from the mysterious warp beacon. If it's early in the pyramid, yeah, I mean that full clear is pretty nice. If it's just the very end, just snap checking the one that's down the stairs right next to the Sandman door is a play.
Goku gets through the Alana fight, gonna get their bounty of travel pieces.
Yeah, real bummer there. Last locationing the tablet. And those 2 warp beacons, one of which is the present access. All right, here's the new idea. Zed does have pink. Goku Black does not. If Goku Black breaks logic, kills them all, and the gas mask is in the pink room, and the final gear is in either military hangar or lab, that's a possibility. I ran the numbers. I feel like that's a possibility.
Regardless of the race, I hope none of that happens to our runners. That sounds so convoluted and rough.
That would be pretty awful. That is true. But, if we're looking at 3 time spinner pieces and the mysterious warp beacon to 0 time spinner pieces and no mysterious warp beacon, you need some pretty outlandish stuff. Lily's got another good point. The post-Maw crash site. Well, there's gear 2. Your mention of the pyramid kind of rings here, because this is going to be a long cave. So if you get out of this cave and have not found your 5th gear, I think the next thing you do after this should be the pyramid.
100%.
At least dip the pyramid.
If I have pyramid access and unlimited vertical, preferably not light wall, but I mean, and I have access to the pyramid at 4 pieces, I'm checking it immediately, because you could just be done.
Yep.
And you're gonna want to grab. Yes, friend. Yes, we'll take that. Thank you. Empire Plus.
Empire Plus. That is Fists of Fury for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I start punching.
Yeah. Yeah. He's There is an option to save and quit out of this run. Run down here to these underwater checks, especially because they're underwater. But your first plus melee orb, you gotta maybe not save and quit out of that, right?
Yeah, no way.
Then again, I don't know, if you feel like you're behind, underwater is slow. You have bombardment, you have economizer ring. Like, maybe you say it doesn't really matter what Empire Orb is.
How about a meatball? Can I interest you in a meatball?
There is a meatball. It's not plus, but still very useful in certain instances. Probably would have liked that doing that spider hell. That would have made that significantly easier. And Goku Black gets the first gear.
Going back to what you were saying a little bit ago, though, do you feel like Zed feels they're behind? I feel like I mean, they just keep running into it.
That's absolutely true. And there's the gas mask in Maw Caves. Okay, so new idea. Gas mask is bait, and Zed finishes the entire right side of lasers, and there's nothing there. That is the new gokublack9974 is right back in this situation. Or Goku Black walks right past this, says, "Hi, Skeleton. Let's do Zarian Caves," and then Zarian Caves has a gear. And then, I'm coming up with ways here. I don't know. It's nothing any reasonable person would do, but if Goku Black feels behind, and I think he has a lot more reason to feel behind here, then these are kinds of things that you should start maybe thinking about, I'm way behind. I have to do some really weird stuff and hope it pays off.
Yeah, you've got to make that Hail Mary at some point. The not going up to Alana, then trying to push the Siren Caves and getting nothing out of it. I definitely feel like you've got to feel a little behind. Galaxy Earrings on Zed's side, not really caring about that right now.
Yeah, there is a setting to boost the amount of orb experience you get from the Galaxy Earrings. Without that setting, in Randomizer, really just not a very useful item. The amount of effect orb experience has on the amount of damage you do is so just incremental that it's not really even worth the time it takes to equip the Galaxy Earrings.
Yeah, if you get one of your first couple items and you want to throw it on there for the long term until you find a better accessory, all right, sure. But yeah, the little bit of bonus that you get for it's not going to really appeal long term unless you really put the time into it.
Yeah, Zed, I think, has a bird statue and a Sellen's Bangle on, so it's like, why would you unequip those in favor?
Why would you even consider putting those on?
Yeah. If it's the first thing you got and you have literally nothing else equipped, sure, why not? All right, we are rolling into the Maw area. Goku Black gets his Bombardment Plus, so there's his big damage. Immediately went and equipped that. Zed is going to go ahead and fight the underwater Maw fight. Has the gas mask, so it's a little less dramatic. Has a ton of DPS. Probably not going to be much of an issue. It's Vanilla Maw.
Vanilla Maw, Vanilla Azure Queen. In my randomizer, I don't think so.
Zed kind of trying to swim up right in the face of the Maw and try and get an extra damage tick out of the bombardment. Yeah, probably not necessary, but
we'll let them all know exactly what he thinks about it.
I want to look you in the eyes.
You will stare at me as I kill you.
Did Zed didn't do the effort spot, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that is something that our runners have access to right now. We'll see if that happens here on Goku Black's side.
Yeah, again, another one of those places that could be a long time before Zed ever gets back there.
Yep.
Great use of the wheel on Zed's side to beat these enemies so they don't take the damage and blip right through the poison spores.
Yeah, it's great movement. Those mushrooms, if you're trying to deboost through them, they can get really, really annoying. I like what I'm seeing out of these later races. Now that we're in like the mid rounds of this tournament, you start to see a little bit of copycat, right? People are watching the races and they're saying, "Oh, okay." So you're starting to see some movement tech that some of our runners are doing, and then you start seeing other runners start to pick up on that movement tech, and like everybody gets better because of these races, and that's something I just absolutely love about doing events like this.
Yeah, we were talking before about what we wanted to see in this race, and I'm here to learn stuff I didn't know. I'm still very new to this, so whenever I can find any piece of tech, I'm here for it. Goku Black gonna take on this Ifrit fight. Gonna find Alana.
The nether orbs are going to be helpful. Meanwhile, on Zed's side, we are getting a pyramid check, so we're going to see if anything's here. If he does regret chest, now that he's here, he might as well just go ahead and full clear it. Yeah, Goku Black getting good spacing on the bombardment, getting a couple of 7 ticks there. Trying to get the nether portals on Ilana's disc attack. Didn't quite nail it. It's really tough to time. That's 2. That's another nice 7 tick bombardment that is very, very difficult to do. Like, it's harder to do than you would think. The spacing has to be just right because Ilana is one of the smaller bosses. The hitbox just kind of isn't in terms of like what bombardment hits and Ilana's hitbox kind of not, they don't match up really well. So getting 7 ticks on Ilana is a really awesome spacing challenge. And you see here Ilana getting lit up by those nether portals, Goku Black getting those while Ilana's doing her version of the Plasma Geyser spell. Taking down Ifrit. All right, 2 checks here for Goku Black that Zed has not seen. An Aura Up, an Eternal Crown. Good, but not great.
Zed continues to push through the pyramid. Has found a lab coat on the left side, but of course it's flooded, so it's left 45 seconds of just floating.
Oh, yeah, Zed's like, see you later. I'm not doing this right now. The problem with that is it's right smack in the middle of the pyramid. So there's no portal that's close to it. So if the bottom of that pit has something, it's not a great backtrack to do.
Yeah, you're not going to easily come back to that because the last check in here is right before the door, so you still have to walk back to go middle if you want it.
Yep.
I think it may be better just to take it on the chin and do that walk of shame.
Yeah, I mean, it's floating down there takes a very, very long time. So, again, you're trying to go fast, trying to cut corners as we get a flood.
Wow.
Oh,
who thought flooded was a good idea?
At the time, everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I voted for it. I thought it was hilarious.
When the idea was brought up, everybody thought it was a good idea. All right, so that's a health up. And Zed did tag that portal, so we'll see if the bottom of... Oh, yeah, all right, Zed is actually going to check. That's actually a really interesting idea, saying, you know what, if I float all the way down here and the goods were in the in front of the Sandman door the entire time, I'm going to feel really, really silly.
Yeah, I'm not against that.
This pyramid, a little weird. Almost all of the enemies are immune to time stop in this place, so all of the tech that you may have been using to dodge enemies with time stop, not gonna work here. And Zed takes
a little float, think about things, give their fingers a rest.
Float. This gets a quick, water break.
Yeah, a little water break. Shake the hands out, get the feeling back in the fingers.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Check the race room. Make sure no one's finished. Grab a bite. Oh, okay, we're done.
Not getting the save point though. I guess it doesn't matter because he's got the warp anyway. So yeah, no, actually smart not to get the save point. Eternal Coat. That's the best armor. With Zed not checking regret chest, I was about to add to my list of weird things that could happen that gets Goku right back into this race. But now that he's checking regret chest, I got to scratch that one off the list.
And I don't know what it's called, but that Kabuki mask wearing scythe person is my favorite enemy. I don't know why. I just like him.
It's named Kane.
Okay, there you go. See?
And they said the soul scanner was worthless.
They didn't know the truth. They didn't want to admit the truth.
So yeah, we're getting Zarian caves.
Yeah, the option's getting a little limited, so this seems like the place to go.
I mean, the hangar's right there, and we're getting a Zarian caves check.
Yeah, but you have to go back and beat the Golden Idol boss if you want to go to the
Oh, he hasn't beaten the twins yet, that's true.
Yeah, he skipped it, so I was like, this makes sense to me too.
Oh, he's got the tablet. There's a lot of checks over there.
I know. But
meanwhile, Goku Black
you don't want to take that walk back.
Goku Black is going to get this time spinner wheel. So that's pretty good for him. Slowly but surely kind of crawling back. We are in a 1-gear hunt here, so it could be anywhere. Goku Black did kill the twins. Has not killed them all. Also is still missing that gear and the gas mask, both of which we know are in Maw Caves.
Yeah, it could be an interesting situation if Goku Black pushes the Maw Caves quickly, grabs that gear and the gas mask, and then just goes right to the lab. Could really just knot this thing back up.
Yep. Like I said earlier, like this is like Zed just got the first check in Zarian Caves. Like that's a long walk to the first check in Zarian Caves. And it's not like Maw Caves where you have a jackpot room where there's a room that has 4 items in it. And there's a Merchant Crow. So what if both are required? What if Zarian Caves and Lab are required? That Merchant Crow does open up 3 additional checks in the lab via the Raven Lord fight.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it was in the lab. I was like, how? Oh, wait, yeah. Gross. Yep.
All right, the 2 last checks here. Goku Black kind of out of things to do that aren't the correct move, I guess. Okay, now he's going back. Oh, he's going. Oh, I see what he's doing here. He's gonna go up, or no? Is he done right side of tower? I don't think he's done right side of tower yet.
No, I think that's where he's headed.
All right, what do we got here? So far, the only thing of note we've gotten in Zarian Caves is that Merchant Crow.
I'll join you on that crusade of terrible ideas. So Merchant Crow, so you have to go through that guy or justifying the C card.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that's blocking now.
Yep. We'll end the Varney fight.
No, there's never anything there.
Well, before Boss Rando, you used to be able to peek that and save and quit out of it.
I think Boss Rando was one of my favorite parts of the randomizer. When that got added, I was pretty happy.
It's real nice. It's I can't imagine playing it with it off.
Yeah, right. You get it. You understand. It's wonderful.
Like it's the default now for like a really good reason. Like it's. He's looking. He's considering the Zarian fight and bouncing.
Oh, I'm already. Yeah, you made all that effort to walk there. Just take the boss out.
He went to Royal Towers. Oh, he's checking pink.
Yeah, well, then this might be an excuse to go. If you're gonna go do your twins fight.
Yeah, might as well.
You're here. You might as well do them both.
Mind Refresh Ultra was what was behind the Spider Helen Tower. So, yeah, Goku Black warping out instead of fighting his way back through that room. He's keeping us waiting for that lore check.
Psych.
And it's a Plasma Crystal. Okay, Pink has nothing. No warp, so that means that, yeah, we are getting a twins fight here. Yes, T-Base was the person who did Boss Rando. It's their brainchild. All right. Yeah, Goku Black kind of going through the tower here. We kind of know none of this pays off. Kind of needed to make all the right calls. At this point, with Zed beating the twins and inevitably going to the military hangar, it kind of becomes very linear. Once you get past that part, I'm starting to see not really any way for Goku Black to just make 3 consecutive brilliant calls and get out a win here. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen, but Zed is about to do a whole lot of checks.
And before we get indoctrinated by too many checks, I want to shout the runners out and thank them for letting us put this race on. gokublack9974 and Zed, whose name I'm not going to butcher too badly. So give a thanks to them for putting the race on for us.
Yeah, and I want to thank Zed for doing the Temporal Gyre. Here it's the some people's favorite song in the whole game. So shout shout outs to that. Getting neurotoxined and shot in the face like a whole bunch. This is a pretty bad room. This temporal gyre is randomly generated, so it's done by this on a seed by seed basis. So you don't really know what you're going to run into here. You're running into a lot of damage is what you're running into. That neurotoxin makes it so you can't cast spells because it drains your aura. And there it is.
There it is.
Don't go into the next room. Okay, there's the final gear. Again, Zed just he kind of had a dry spell in the middle, but man, the beginning and end making every right call.
Yeah, making the right call to go back and finish off that twin fight too, before.
Yeah.
And then grabbing the gyre, which is it's just no fun. I hate going through that thing, especially that the ghost thing that can only be hit when you have the wheel activated. Yeah, no.
Yep.
It's no fun.
That nether shade is real rude. Zed running in here. I don't know. So there's this tech that like a whole bunch of people used to do, and not a lot of people do it anymore. But Shadow Seal has this cool save point trick where you toe tap it, where you get the save, but you cut off the healing because it only heals while you're touching it. Well, we have an underwater Ifrit fight. This is pretty cursed. That's not going to be a cheese spot, but yep, you got to get into it.
Knocked into it. Good job.
Yeah, the other half of that is when you're underwater, it's easier to actually get hit into the cheese spot here. If you just crouch here, Ifrit literally cannot hit you. But yeah, you saw Zed almost go into that hallway after finding the gear. You cannot warp shard when you're in those hallways. You can only warp shard in the rooms that have the treasure chest in it. So would have wasted a whole bunch of time if he had let his momentum carry himself forward. And then we get an Emperor Volturilis fight. Notably weak to Empire Orb.
Yeah, that little trick you talked about with the warp chart. I learned that watching these races for this tournament. That was another thing that I'm like, oh, good to know.
Yep, very, very good to know. All right, we should see Zed finishing up here shortly. This fight will be over pretty quickly with between the Bombardment plus Blast and then the Empire Orb plus here. It's going to be pretty quick. Emergency healing. And there it is! Exclamation points in chat for Zed, our winner of this race. The first race in the loser bracket, and his dreams stay alive. So GG to Zed. Congratulations. So we'll see Goku Black going down here through the bottom of Lake Serene towards the Maw Caves, making the right call. And then like we were talking about before, Goku Black going through the Maw Caves, gonna find the mask, probably will immediately beat the Maw and then go into the military hangar. And then if he does Gyre, then that's his go mode as well. So not honestly that far behind. Did a really good amount of catch up here, honestly. Just wasn't enough. All right, so we'll see if we can get Zed in here for comms. After an hour of racing Timespinner, he may need a second to breathe and hydrate, but we'll try and get him in here. And there he is. Zed, hello, GG.
Hello.
So, what did you think? That was an interesting one for sure.
Wef, you rolled this, right?
Yes, it did.
Where was all the early game damage?
Don't know. Well, I know it wasn't there. It did not exist. That's where all the early game damage was.
Wef, I couldn't kill anything.
No, I know. I want to do just real quick. I want to call out that Goku Black with this Nether Orb going through Maw Caves, getting the portals to spawn on the vines. It's another one of those weird precision things you can do with Nether Orb. And he did a really good job there on the first one. But yes, Zed, that was a pretty, honestly, a very interesting seed. You were making some absolutely lights out calls early, and then it kind of dried up, and then dipping into the gyre ended up paying off.
Yeah, I figured this wasn't going to be a laserless seed after I did Pyramid, so I was just like, I just need to go kill the twins and make my way into lab. There's so much stuff there, but along the way, I have Wheel, Let's Stop, and Gyre. And that's, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good call. It was the right play. Had your gear 3. You almost went into the hallway after it. I laughed.
I almost did. I almost, without thinking, like, just didn't process that was the third gear and walked into the hall and would have had to fight my way through.
Yeah, sometimes gears just out of the corner of your eye look like jerky. Or an old coat. I'm like, yeah, Goku Black going through Maw Caves right now. Probably, I mean, the play here is if Goku Black walks past the gyre or not. Because he has gotten his gear 2. He will be getting the gas mask very shortly. And there it is. So he will be enabled to be in go mode very shortly. Yeah, early damage wasn't great. Blade minus, Colossal Blade minus. And then you ran into, Fire minus?
Yeah, it was Fire minus, Infernal Flames minus, Aura Blast minus.
Yep. And you saw early on that you had the Star of Lachiam and the Silence Ring, so you knew you had 2 heavy hitters coming up eventually.
I never did find the Shattered Orb, but
never did.
Fortunately did get that Empire Orb, so that felt really good.
And the Bombardment, and eventually the Economizer Ring, which is a knockout combo.
Yes, that's what I used to take out pretty much all of my bosses there at the end.
Yep, Bombardment is a boss killer.
Aside from Volterolus, who is just weak to Empire, so figured I'd just run that, and clearly it worked. So
imagine living a life weak to the strongest weapon.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, Goku Black circling back, still kind of doing all these underwater Maw Cave checks. No Teleria, so that is another, notch that one in there. Yep, Goku Black
barely required lasers.
Just barely required lasers, yeah. Just on the other side of the lasers. This seed tried to be a laserless seed, but it just fell just short.
I was trying to make it a laserless seed too. I just clearly couldn't get it there.
Yeah, you did absolutely everything pretty much, right? Until you were like, fine, I'll go kill the twins. Yeah, so no idea where Teleria was. Everything else was kind of, in stride. Gas mask in Maw Caves was a find for sure.
Yeah, it felt like most of the early game progression was kind of just on the way.
It really was. Goku Black had some early struggles with the bad damage, essentially. Tried to do early checks of the upper Caves of Banishment, and took a death to the Wyverns there after getting poisoned by the mushrooms. And so that set him back a significant amount, because his only save was back at the very beginning at the encampment.
Yeah, that'll do it. I almost died. Fortunately, I had picked up a few healing items along the way too.
Yeah, you were definitely running a little bit low on health a couple times, especially the hammers in that final Volterillus fight.
Yeah, It's a lot harder when you don't have the proper equipment.
Certainly.
Fortunately, made it through. Here I am.
Yeah, so looking at the bracket here, as Goku goes into the Maw area and is preparing to open up that last laser. Let's see what you have in store, or rather what the tournament has in store for you in the next round. Since you did indeed win this, then you are going to be going up against the winner of Mikaneko Pai and Gabriel J. Campos.
Sounds like it'll be a good race.
And yeah, we do know Goku Black is unfortunately out of the tournament. It is 2 and out, but you know, in order to declare a winner, we have to start knocking people out, right? So, unfortunately, is the first victim of the losers bracket, but you are moving on. And then, if by the end of the losers bracket you're still hanging around, you have another shot at the whole shebang. So, what are your thoughts moving forward on your strategies? Are you learning anything new? Are you doing anything differently that you weren't doing at the start of the tournament?
I'm definitely prioritizing trying to make great use of that Unchained Keys flag set, starting Twin Pyramid Key.
Yeah, the starting Twin Pyramid Key opens up a lot of routing options, and it's very nice to have. I think it offsets not starting with the Teleria attachment significantly. I think it does a better job of that than I think a lot of people, even myself, realized that it was going to do. So, you know, you still get hour-long seeds sometimes, but with the ability to just kind of jump around to any place you've already been, it's sort of like starting with fast travel. Because if you never, like, there were seeds that you would just never get the Twin Pyramid Key, and then that would be just as bad. We see Goku Black going into the upper caves of banishment instead of going off to do the hangar and the gyre, checking these underwater checks that were abandoned earlier. Unfortunately, we know that this is not going to pay off.
Yeah, I think I skipped a few underwater checks because I just was tired of doing them without the Talaria attachment.
Yeah, I mean, fading water is a legit strategy.
Yeah.
Yep, after this, we're kind of all hoping Goku Black does go into the gyre. It's really easy to walk past it, you know, so... And if he does, there's a lot in front of him that is not the correct play.
Yep.
And you know, at least it was the first chest in the gyre. It had the decency to not make you go through the entire thing.
It did have that decency. Very, very considerate of the seed. Said force lasers, but just barely.
Just like literally the first check, technically, on the right side of the lasers.
Almost on top of the lasers.
Oh, he's going to Zarian Caves. Just doing anything in his power to not go to the military hangar.
Oh no.
Right. This is... we're kind of reaching the end of our time slot here. Zarian Caves are going to take a bit to go through as well. Yeah, we have 30 minutes until the next race on here. Oh, apparently we've been booked for 2 hours. We just kind of have a time spinner block going all day. Starting at 2, we had 2 p.m. and then a 4 p.m. and now a 6 p.m. race coming up. The 6 p.m. race is going to be Jim the Eternal versus Arrow Razor to determine who goes up against Lunar Ray Games in round 3. So that should be exciting.
Definitely stick around for that race.
Yeah.
Stick around for all the time spinner races. Keep coming back. These are awesome.
Yeah, we've basically got Speedgaming 5 for a 6-hour block. So very, very cool. Got a nice little club over here. All right, so Goku Black reaching about the halfway point of Zarian Caves. Maybe after this, he'll finally go and go to the right of lasers. And again, it's pretty common to just walk right past the gyre. You don't really know what's going to be in there, and it can be kind of slow.
I wonder if this was... Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, it's not exactly the most time-efficient 3 checks, but it paid off for me, so...
Yep, sure did.
I wonder if this is a scenario that if the race time room is closed and they think, okay, if the labs is the obvious play, then I have to do this one in the hopes to make up time that they have left something behind because of those earlier things that had happened we talked about.
Yeah, I think we are booked for 1.5 hours for a 30-minute time slot to let the restream kind of switch over and get the next set of commentary in. So may have to drop a line in the race room to say, hey, we're kind of coming up on time. Yeah, it is probably fine. We could just let this go. Like I said, Time Spinner is next on the docket here. Just want to make sure that we don't make our speed gaming overlords mad, obviously.
We
Something
wouldn't
tells me
want to
they'd
do
let
that.
us know.
We wouldn't want to make speed gaming mad.
No.
They're generous enough to help us host the tournament, so...
Yeah, no, they've been incredible so far this year, and to no one's surprise. They're good every year. We've been doing this for 3 years now. It's been great. It's grown every year we've done it. A lot of new faces around, thanks to the Archipelago community jumping on board with Time Spinner. People finding out what a fun game this is to play, right?
Exactly.
And it looks like Goku Black is going to fight Zarian. Maybe the Teleria is here.
Maybe Teleria is here.
I'm going to hold on to that idea that if you did all of the Zarian caves for the minimal amount that's here, you might as well beat the boss.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Well, yeah, it kind of worked out in your scenario.
I don't want to fight the Zarian boss slot.
All right,
Got,
so we
a
got
lot of health.
We got twins, which this is going to die really quickly to bombardment.
And Golden Idol weak to 1 type damage.
And there it is.
See, it didn't take that long. It's fine.
Captain's uniform. Not what Goku was looking for.
No, probably not.
And he's going to bottom of desolation, basically doing everything except for go past the lasers.
Really making the seed prove to him that lasers are required.
Oh, he's doing the maw chests. That's what he's doing. Maybe the Teleria is here.
Maybe. There was
Nope.
a trap. I was almost tempted to pick it up because I wanted to know what it was. My shiny acquisition tendency almost kicked in.
The traps are orbs, so really tough to...
They're orbs, they're shiny. I'm not sure what more you could want.
Right?
It definitely feeds directly into my shiny acquisition tendency.
Oh, Goku's going to the pyramid now. And we know we have a flooded regret chest check here.
Yep, and will be disappointed because it's not very good over here.
Yeah, we saw you actually skip over. You saw the regret pit was flooded. You skipped over it at first, and then you went and grabbed the portal, got the staircase check, and then backtracked, which was a pretty savvy play. You don't want to do that entire thing only to find out the thing that you needed wasn't in there, and it was at the end of the pyramid anyway. So getting that warp, and being able to just warp out instead of having to do the save and quit.
Yeah, I started heading down, and I was just thinking to myself, this is going to be nothing. I don't want to spend the time getting back out here. But I can grab the portal and the last chest, and I can just warp shard out when I'm done. Which worked out well, because as I assumed correctly, there was nothing. And I was full of regret.
That's, you know, I wonder why they call it regret chest.
Yeah,
especially when it's underwater.
I think it's a coincidence.
It gets a bad rap, but like only just barely undeserved. And here's,
only just barely.
Just swimming right on down. I think people are kind of being lulled into a false sense of security about the lasers in this tournament. I think people are starting to see like how often the lasers aren't required, and they're like, well, they're not required ever, so like I might as well do everything except for those. And then you see it kind of happening right here. The you have D card, you have B card, you have a tablet, you have full vertical movement. There are a lot of checks over past the laser gates that if you got that gas mask, they are in logic. So it does kind of become increasingly more of a gamble not doing the right side.
Yeah. At a certain point where you have D, B, full movement, and a gas mask, you just gotta... That's the seed telling you. There might be stuff over here.
It's math, all right. Like, it's just so many checks. And yeah, you have to fight some bosses and in order to open them up. But yeah, I mean, the gas mask, if you're in logic, it's just as likely as anything else. I keep saying that like this randomizer doesn't really care about, you know, spheres all that much. We don't do anything to put things in certain spheres or make them you know, like make logical sense where we want you to have certain things before other things. Literally, we are taking every item in the game, we're scattering them across the map, across all eras, and we're like, all right, is this seed beatable? Good. Okay, there's your seed. there's no guarantee that you are ever going to have access to all the items or all the locations. Tablet being downloadable is a pretty frequent outcome in the seed generation, so there are plenty of seeds where you'll just never get the tablet because the only way to get it is to download it, which you need the tablet for. Same for the gas mask, which the gas mask, it has been the case in a couple of seeds this tournament where the gas mask is to the right of the lasers, which puts the Maw fight out of logic eternally.
Yeah, and knowing some of that, if you see that gas mask to the right of the lasers and you do it, you're like, okay, well, nothing I need to finish can possibly be here.
Yep, if you can, if you want to gamble that the gas mask is to the left of the lasers and you want to beat the Maw out of logic. Oh, he's going into the gyre. Okay, we are going to get a go mode here. But if you do want to gamble beating the Maw and getting to the right of the lasers, then Goku Black is choosing to wait out the Nether Shade instead of actually killing it. Yeah, I mean it's a gamble like anything else you do out of logic. This randomizer does not expect that you will ever be able to get to any given location that is locked behind an item at all. So, yeah, it's I think part of what makes this so chaotic and interesting.
This room was mean.
Yeah, this room.
Without like
terrible.
a big spell.
The guns. Yeah, you all did have Jin Inferno, but it was not a plus. It was not a plus spell. You never like it when the door opens before you finish the room.
You clear out all the enemies.
All right, there's Gear 3 and Goku Black.
Oh, almost did the same thing.
Almost did the exact same thing. All right. Heading into the final boss fights.
In chat saying random is random. I
Ran-
could not agree more. Random is random.
means random.
It makes for some seeds where I sit there and I'm like, I have so much of everything to do, but I don't want to do any of it. Because WEF decided that there was going to be no damage.
Listen. I didn't make this decision. All I did was refresh a web page, okay? That's all I did. You can't put this on me.
Who made the web page then? I would like to talk to them.
That would be Yarno.
No, I can't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
I can't yell at that guy. He made the randomizer.
You made the seed generator site, Yarno. Yeah, really good use of Nether Orb against Ifrit. A lot of people want to just immediately go to that cheese spot under Ifrit, but depending on what you have for damage, it actually is sometimes faster to not do that cheese spot and actually spend your time out in front of him where you can use some of your other weapons, like Goku Black here with the Nether Orb. Not using Empire Plus here. Honestly, Bombardment Plus being your highest damage here, I don't really think it matters all that much anyway. Who wrote the code that assigns minus to orbs? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That's not what we're talking about here.
Don't
Don't
worry.
change the subject.
Don't worry. I've cursed WEF's name for the existence of minus orbs plenty. I just specifically did not like the start to this seed.
Plus orbs are a crutch.
Plus orbs make me change what orbs I'm using, and it's quite fun. so I don't always just default to blue and blue Empire and Meteor.
GG's and exclamation points to Goku Black. He has finished with a race time of 1:27:06. We are going to mark him as done and get him into the commentary booth if he would like. He has been sent the invite. Apparently, thank you, Llama, for the heads up. We got moved to Speedgaming 2 for the next race. So we did indeed get moved over. So our party over at SG5 is going to come to an end, but we're moving into a different venue. We're going to call it the after party. All right. Yes, and here you are, Goku Black. GG on finishing that one out.
Yeah, thanks. I died like 10 minutes in, and I'm like, oh crap, this is gonna be a bad start regardless.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough start.
So minus the blade orb, and then minus the colossal blade. Oh man, I had a really rough start. I couldn't kill any bosses hardly in the beginning. I finally found a fire orb, and then later found the nether orb, and that nether orb kind of carried me.
Yeah, no, that nether orb was the orb you both had for a very, very long portion of the seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, nether orb was my damage up until I finally went through to Ma and picked up Empire Plus.
Yeah, so I also found bombardment, so it was a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was also good damage. At the very end, I was doing 90 per hit, I think.
Yeah, no, bombardment plus was the damage, and then later the economizer ring helped out with that a lot.
Yeah, where was that economizer ring? I never found it.
I'm not sure.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I had Star of Lechian with the nether orb, so that kind of helped a little bit. Yeah, that early wipe really hurt me real bad. I think it was like first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a tough thing to overcome. For a while there, if you had made a couple of calls, there was a way for you to get back into it after that, but unfortunately, there was so much to do, and then just you had to make the perfect calls to get back into it, and it unfortunately did not happen.
Yeah, it's the main thing that happened. I enjoyed the seed overall.
Once it got going, it was going.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys were shouting at me on the commentary end.
Well, we were cheering for you to get to catch back up. We wanted an interesting race for sure, and we were coming up with convoluted situations that would get you back into the race. It's just Zed made a lot of really good calls, played very well, so it was just a tough gap to overcome. And that does unfortunately mean that you are out of the tournament.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate, and sorry to see you go. Do you have any thoughts about the tournament so far and how it's been? Not just your races, but any other races you might have caught?
So I do see that there are a lot of really good runners in this tournament. Seeing me go, I'm fine. I have I didn't really practice, so I have a lot of other stuff to catch up on. So I'm really happy to see this tournament, and good luck to all the other runners that are participating in this tournament, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think the tournament overall has some pretty good runs to it. GG to Ehseezed for kind of beating me for a while. I went to the pyramid, and I should have kept going, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the Flooded Regret, and I decided that no, I'm going to tag the warp, and then I'll go pick that up later.
yeah. So I didn't pick up the lost time spinner gear until after I full cleared the pyramid.
Yeah, the last time spinner gear being in that gyre is something that we were scared you would walk past. It's a pretty common thing for people to skip. So when you went in there, we were all like, "Yes, it's the right play."
I was like, you know what? Let's do the gyre. That's the thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of checks that are not in the gyre, so you had a lot to do if you didn't go in there. So yeah, it was good that you went in there. We're able to finish up the seed. We are kind of running low on time here, so I do want to go back to Zed for any final thoughts on this seed, the future of the tournament, or what do you got?
I don't got much. I think these tournament flags are creating really interesting scenarios for the runners and makes for really good watching, so it's been fun.
Great. Talon, my co-commentator, what are your thoughts on this before we sign off here?
Yeah, another great race in the tournament, and I have to agree with Zed. The tournament flags are really adding to a lot of possible diversions in routing, so it's going to be great to see how this continues to work itself out.
It really is wide open, very chaotic, so I am also looking forward to seeing what the future holds. And speaking of the future, in 15 minutes, we are going to have another Timespinner Randomizer race over on Speedgaming 2. We've, again, been moved to Speedgaming 2 from Speedgaming 5, so if you're here in advance to catch the 6 o'clock race between Jim the Eternal and Arrow Razor, you are actually looking over to Speedgaming 2 for that one. And that one, I believe, has Llama and Urza over on comms, so that should be really fun to watch. Go hang out with them. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I've been Wef Jebster. I've been joined by Talon. I'm gonna go ahead and put the runners here. Go ahead and follow the runners. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Go over to Speed Gaming 2 and check out the next Timespinner Randomizer race. I've been Wef Jebster. Thanks to Zed and Goku Black for the race, and I will see everybody later.
Thanks, everyone.